What's happening, Magnus? Yeah, the god that wields the dark Mjolnir has returned to answer your question as the Magnus movement marches forward, 68,000 strong. Now, one of you basically had a simple question for me, but an elaborate email for it. So I'll read through the email real quick, but I know what the simple question is. So this comes from Mr. Black Scorpio, and he says, "Yo, Tyrone, I need to ask you a question. Now, since you've lived in the ghetto, you probably know what I'm talking about. Every time I've been in the more ghetto parts of the suburban towns to visit friends or run errands, I get weird looks from ghetto black folk." Now, this dude is black, by the way. Even a friend of mine, when we were driving, commented on how these ghetto black folks were looking at us like we were monsters or something. Usually I just ignore them, but it eventually starts to get annoying when a bunch of scum are huddled in the corner smoking, and all of a sudden all turn and stare at you for no reason. I've also noticed I've only been stared at by other black people in a really weird way, never by white, Hispanic, Asian people, or any other race. They also seem to stare at other people regardless of race, but to a lesser extent than with other black people. Can you tell me why they do this? P.S. Sorry for the long message. Alright, so what's funny is I was just talking about this with a girl, and we were in the car, and I was like, you know, when I drive through Camden, I was like, why is it when I drive through Camden, everybody is always in my face? Like, I can't turn a corner, you know, like everybody is always in your face. You're sitting on the porch, they're in your face. You could be walking, you could be driving, it doesn't matter. They are staring at you in your face. And as I was reading your email before I turned on the camera, I said, you know what? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. And more reasons may come to me as I'm talking. As you know, I go off the cuff. But, so first reason is a lot of the people in the inner city don't know more than their city block. They don't know more than their few block radius. Okay, that's their world. So when someone comes into their world with a car that they've never seen, with a face that they've never seen, then they have to see who you are, see what you look like. Who knows? If you're a girl, they might want to holler, "Hey, you, you." You know, they might want to do that shit. You said something interesting. A bunch of dudes huddled on a corner, and then all of them turn around and stare at you like a monster. Because the dude, come on, what are the dudes huddled on the corner doing? The majority of the time in my life's experience, they're selling drugs, right? So you could be a customer. So they need to make eye contact. That's good salesmanship. They need to make eye contact with you to see if you want to buy something, some of their product, okay? I remember I joined a multi-level marketing company called ACN a few years ago. Good company, just wasn't for me. But I had a buddy that joined with me, and I was taking the guy that got me into it, which was a white, preppy looking pharmaceutical sales rep that drove a Volvo. I was taking him to Camden to pick up my buddy. So we go down this one street, we go to make a turn, and all the dudes turn and look, and they're all like, "Yo, yo, yo." And he's like, "You know them?" And it was such a funny culture clash. And I said, "No, they think that I'm your escort into the hood to buy drugs." He was like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Yes. Sometimes white people will have a black person that can mix in with the commoners, escort them into the hood to buy drugs so that they don't get beaten and robbed." Okay, and he is just laughing his ass off. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it was, man. So it could have been either you were entering their world or they thought you were there to buy something. And that's exactly what it is. Those actually are the only two things that I can think about. Only two reasons. If you agree with me, post your comments below. If you got more reasons, also post your comments below. Because think about it. I mean, you know, think about it. You go to somewhere that's secluded. Those people in that village or wherever it is, a secluded area, and you don't look the norm, what do? They stare at you, right? Just like anywhere else. And there's so many people in the ghettos and in small town America, period, that just, you know, whether it's a ghetto or not, they've never been out of their, you know, few towns, few street area. They've never done it. So they're used to seeing certain people every day walking up and down the motherfucking street. Every day, walking up and down the street. Other people driving up and down the street. They know everybody's car. They know all their homeboys, the girls that live. They know everybody. Mr. Jenkins, hey, how you doing, Mr. Jenkins? They know everybody. They see your car, then they gotta look, see who you are. It's funny, I grew up in the ghetto, but I never was, I don't remember ever staring at all the cars that drove by. But I can remember seeing other people doing that. Like, why are they so interesting? Another thing, another person that they stare at are the cops when they drive by. I've never understood why you would stare at the cops if you don't want any problems. If you're staring at them, you're going to cause it, you know, because a lot of cops are cowboys. You know, they want you to give them a reason to shoot your punk ass. So, you know, you staring at them, then they're going to fuck with you. They know you on the corner, up to no good, loitering or whatever it is. So they're going to turn around. They might start fucking with you. I never understood that. I had a buddy who used to do that all the time. Every time the cops drove by, he'd be like, every time. And I'm like, why? You know, and he ended up being a stick-up kid, going in and out of jail, breaking out of jail. I mean, drugs, everything. I just, you know, cops are minding their business. I'm going to mind mine. I don't need to stare at them. I don't need to make eye contact unless I need their help. Help me. You get what I'm saying? That's it. So like I said, if you don't belong to their small area that they become accustomed to, then they're going to stare at you. Or you might be there and they need to make a sale. So they need to find out if you looking for the hustle man, for the man that can sell you whatever it is you need, whether it's DVDs that are bootlegged, whether it's drugs, whether it's a PlayStation 4, brand new in the box, you know what I'm saying, never been opened, that they just happen to find or don't need, all that stuff. They need to know. So, like I said, post your comments below and let me know what you think the reasons are why you get stared at by black folks when you go into their community. Yeah, you know what's funny? I don't get stared at by Asians or damn, I know a lot of Puerto Ricans. I don't remember Puerto Ricans staring at me neither. It's only my folks. What the fuck is that about? Although I have been into quote-unquote trailer park towns or white trash, what some white folks call their people that are poor. And I have seen them sitting on the porch staring at me. I have seen that. I assume there's a few reasons why they're staring at me, or one particular reason. But that's a different video. All right, y'all. 1 million subscribers. Woo!